part, but the chemistry part is important. Do you think that chemistry was one of the areas of greatest need for your team last year?
Honestly, yes, I do. And it wasn't it kind of snuck up on us. We almost had too many great players. We had a great season before without our two superstars going to the Eastern Conference Final. And, we basically had players playing for contracts. We had 9 players that probably could have started for any NBA team. And I think that caused an issue in terms of how the chemistry worked out.
Yeah, that was one of the topics last year. I think it was Charles Barkley said it, and a lot of people laughed at him, but he said there's almost too many good players on the Celtics. And you feel like that may have been one of the issues. Guys just had a hard time settling into their roles.
Yeah, I think it was harder than expected, for guys who were starting the Eastern Conference Finals to then, come off the bench. And one thing led to another. And, Coach did a good job, had him play great in stretches, but we never got that kind of consistency. And people, were concerned about the roles. So I think the good news is this year it looks like we have a very, positive, team-oriented group. And we've learned a lot from last year, and everybody's gotten better in the organization. So I think we're going to have a very exciting year.
You mentioned Kemba Walker, and I think that name alone has gotten a lot of local Celtics fans very excited.
Yeah, Kemba's a legend around from UConn and won a national championship. I spent time with him. He's a wonderful individual, extremely team-oriented, very self-effacing. He's leading the national team right now. Did fantastically in the game against Spain. So we have 4 Celtics playing together on that team, which is going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun to watch, but you notice, Steve, there was a lot of players that decided to not play in this tournament. Star after star seemed to say, you know what, I'm going to focus on the upcoming season. Do you look at this as a positive, though, having 4 guys maybe getting an early chance to work together? Or, like some of these other guys, you say, well, there's always a fear of injury. There's always a little bit of a concern that they put themselves out there.
I believe it's a real positive. You can get injured in practice. We have guys get injured in practice all the time. And in today's world, the players are practicing almost every day, year-round. And you can sprain ankles, all those kinds of things. So I think it's a real positive because our guys will get some chance to play together, learn each other's games. Kemba gets to play with 3 of our key players, Marcus Smart. And he'll be back soon from his ankle injury. But I think it's a real positive for the Celtics to have those guys. And I love the fact that they all want to represent their country and play basketball at this time.
The Bruins certainly got the benefits of their new practice arena, Warrior Arena, right next door to the new Auerbach Center. Are you finding that you've got guys who want to be around, they want to be together, they want to be at the facility more because you've built the Taj Mahal of practice facilities?
Absolutely. Sometimes I tell my wife I just want to put a cot in the office and just stay there because they've got a great dining facility. The players even have a barber shop in there. If you get too stressed out, there's a sound deprivation room, where you sit in a tank in silence. All the state-of-the-art training equipment, medical equipment, 2 gyms, weight rooms, anything that they need. So there's a ping pong table. They play a lot of ping pong tournaments. So it's been fantastic to develop that camaraderie and have just a great place to hang out. The families come in. The families are always welcome, and they hang out in the family room. So, yeah, it's been a real positive for us. And Wick and Rich Gotham did a fantastic job designing that facility.
Do you love Tacko Fall as much as everybody else? I feel like he's going to be an absolute fan favorite this year.
He's amazing. I just was up at we take 50 kids that are foster kids and kids from the MSPCC to Canopy Lake Park. And Tacko was one of the 3 volunteers. Carson Edwards and Tacko came, and Grant Williams came. And, Tacko's just a force of nature. What's incredible about him is he's wonderful with kids. Adam Silver actually told me that he'd spent time with him in Senegal, really applauded us for signing him because he was working with all the young players in Africa, and he's just a great learner, a gentleman, smart guy. And so I think everybody's rooting for him, and he's kind of a force of nature. I mean, he's a very well-proportioned person at 7'6", and smart and kind, and so looking forward to seeing him compete out there.
Could he ride any of the rides at Canopy Lake? I feel like him on the Yankee Cannonball wouldn't really work out.
Well, we actually I went with him with a bunch of kids on the that log flume ride And the crazy thing was, the little bar that they put down for safety, it could only go over one of his legs, so he had to keep one of his legs over it.
Well, I
So
mentioned.
I hung on to one of his legs because he's very
Smart.
important to the team.
Yeah.
It's fine if the owner is hurt, but we can't have the players get hurt.
Steve, I mentioned that the Celtics have always been a big part of the Jimmy Fund Radio-Telethon. WEEI joined the proceedings yesterday. We're very happy that you were able to join us here today as well.
It's great to be here, and I think it's going to be really fun to have Brad on there at 2:30 with the coaches. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. You guys do a wonderful job. Now, I think you know that my niece had battled cancer since 10 years old for the last 9 years, and she's a great product of the Jimmy Fund and all the technology that's been developed to fight these cancers. She had osteosarcoma, which was previously kind of undefeated, and she's actually had some breakthrough immunotherapy technology and is now going to be a rising sophomore at UMass when 5 or 6 years ago the prognosis was very poor. But all the great things that Jimmy Fund has done, dana-farber, and the fight against cancer. So I applaud you guys. This is always a fun, probably the most fun 2 days of radio in the entire year.
And I know you guys have always been very generous in helping us here as well.
Absolutely, and we're back at it again with the Shamrock Foundation and donations, and Coach Stevens will talk about that at 2:30 as well. But what I want to know is where's that bus that Clark stole? I heard the radio this morning he stole the bus from the MBTA, and he reported that to the governor this morning on the air.
Yeah, I don't know where it went. I mean, I'm looking outside. I don't think it's here, but Steve, thank you very much for taking the time. We really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Take care.
Thanks, Steve.
That is Steve.